And this last statement, as far as our nafs is concerned, we should remember. You know, this is a little bit of advice, inshallah ta'ala, and we close. We start thinking, Allah is not going to take me yet. I have so much more to do and He knows that. Right? You start thinking, I've got time because, you know, of course, He knows I'm taking care of a family, or I've got my degree left, and I've got things, unfinished business. And He knows I'm a good person, I'm not going anytime yet. He does not fear when He takes. You're worried about consequences of what might happen. He's not. And even the Muslims start thinking the world will stop running when they go. Who's going to feed my family? Who's going to take care of the bills? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Right? And they try to, the disbelievers try to scare you of that and say, buy home insurance or buy life insurance. Right? That'll take care of your family. That'll take care of your needs. But you know, the believer realizes whatever your family is eating right now is not because of you. It's because He's providing. And they will be provided for, their rizq has already been written, and when you come and when you go has already been written. When you're gone, they'll be provided for, the world will move on. Your name maybe will get mentioned sometimes, but just life continues. Life continues. So the one who acknowledges the humility of this nafs, right, and seeks to cleanse it, realizes true dependence on Allah Azza wa Jal, and realizes the power of Allah, that when He makes a plan, none of our plans matter. وَلَا يَخَافُ عُقْبَاهَا. This is the absolute planning of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, aflaha. Aflaha is translated commonly, he succeeded. He succeeded. But there are multiple words in the language, and as are used in the Quran, for success. There's faza, aflaha, right? Najaha also. So which word, and since all of them get translated as success, there's sort of ambiguity between which one we actually want to appreciate at which occasion. The word aflaha comes from iflah, and iflah is a word used in the Arabic language for a farmer that is about to reap harvest. In other words, when the farmer, is tilling the soil and doing all this work, he has no idea if it's going to be a good year or bad year. But at the end of all of that labor, when it's time for crop season, he's called fallah. That's what the farmer is called. And that's what the word aflaha comes from. In other words, they've attained success, but this success didn't just come to them, it came after a long duration of labor. And usually when aflaha is used, you're going to find some kind of effort mentioned after it. Because you're not just going to find iflah, success doesn't just come just like that. There are some efforts that had to be made. So what are these efforts? Let's look forward, inshallah. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. The one who engaged in purifying it thoroughly has already attained success. What is it in purifying it? It is the nafs that's being talked about previously when Allah says, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. So the one engaged in purifying it and cleansing it has already attained success. The activity of cleansing oneself, Allah calls it success. Not the one who has pure nafs. That may never happen. You and I may be engaged in the activity of trying to purify ourselves our entire lives, but we'll never get a fully pure nafs. But the one sincerely engaged in this activity, Allah calls that activity itself success. He calls that activity itself success. Then another nuance in this ayah that is a comparison between an ayah we saw before, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى. Translation for that one would have been, the one purifying himself would have, or the one who cleanses himself has already attained success. So this concern with self-purification, this concern of becoming a better human being, a cleaner human being, to cleanse your nafs from filth, and these are batina, in other words, they're hidden problems. Maybe your problem is anger, maybe your problem is jealousy, maybe your problem is lying, maybe your problem is cheating, maybe your problem is ghafla, you're obsessed with entertainment, maybe it's shamelessness, you don't guard your eyes, maybe it's your tongue, you don't hold your tongue, you just say whatever comes in your mouth. These are all means by which your nafs gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. And the person now, the one who's attained success is the one who's engaged in the act of cleansing it. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى. The one who engaged in this act has already attained true success. May Allah make us of them.